Was it the right decision to completely evacuate Malibu?
Well, in retrospect, it was definitely the right decision. And when you realize how quickly that fire moved, it's, maybe it even should have gone out sooner.
The decision to make the evacuations, not just in the city of Malibu, but in the unincorporated areas and the cities over the hill, was made by the Los Angeles County Fire Department, by the chief in charge at that time. You may recall that this fire started in Ventura County, so it was a unified command between the Ventura County and Los Angeles County Fire Departments, and they were the ones making those decisions.
So you were injured. Who was in charge at the city?
That would be Riva, and at that time Riva and Rick, because in my absence, we look at the command structure. Rick was in charge, and Riva was in charge. And if I wasn't hospitalized and both of them were out of action, I would have been there at City Hall running the EOC.
But you could also predict that this was going to be the mother of all traffic jams.
I think that's probably true, yeah. Getting stuck on PCH, even with the fire going on around you, is not like being stuck on a mountain road in the Campfire, or Decker Canyon Road, or Encinal Canyon Road, or Mulholland, or any of those things. Is it going to be visually frightening? Certainly. Is it going to roast you in your car? Probably unlikely when you consider most of the topographical points on PCH. It's wide enough, it's not dangerous enough, which is not the case for the canyon roads at all. Some of those canyon roads, if you get caught out clearly, like those two people who were unfortunately lost their lives, that's a death sentence. Okay, so although people being on PCH could have been a problem if the fire came down, I think because it's on relatively flat terrain, you're also very close to the ocean in many places, it was nothing like being caught in the canyons.
In hindsight, the city should have been a little more proactive, just in my opinion, in the movement of these people. The city could have said, hey, we're going to explore a north exit for everybody from Point Dume north. And then if we had sections, everybody from Latigo goes south, and the people from Point Dume should go north. That's, if I was incident commander, I would have explored that, and that's what I would have done.
The one thing that I've been asked frequently is, why didn't we direct people to go the other direction on Pacific Coast Highway? And that was a decision provided to us by the fire department because of the direction that the hill fire was going, coming over the hill from the Camarillo area, that they were concerned it was going to burn down to Point Mugu, and that Pacific Coast Highway in that area would be closed. And so if we had directed residents to leave Malibu and head north or west on Pacific Coast Highway, and all of a sudden the fire hit there, they would have been trapped between fire on the north end towards Point Mugu and fire in western Malibu.
In all of these things, the priority of whether it's be the city or the law enforcement agencies or the fire department is life, property, environment, and you want to make sure that you err on the side of caution. And if you're going to have people evacuate early, and definitely go to where there's no danger. And at that point, if you looked at east or west, east was the better choice.
I really believe the failure was also on the part of myself and the city to not have zones or districts, so that when you say evacuate the city, people down at Big Rock, which were never affected, shouldn't be loading up their cars and headed out, because as we know, it stayed west of Pepperdine.
I know there's some people who think that, well, maybe we should have done it from this part or that part, but it wasn't really even clear at that point when it crossed the 101 that I don't think anybody could have said, well, it's going to actually wind up hitting PCH down in Encinal before it hits on Malibu Canyon. I don't think anybody knew that, and it was probably not possible to know that. I know the wind direction was generally pointing that way, but sometimes these, especially in Malibu Canyon, the topography can channelize the wind and redirect the fire.
It did take much longer than it should have to get those lanes opened. We started asking for assistance from the city staff, started asking assistance from the California Highway Patrol pretty early on, about 8 a.m., to get additional resources there, to get a lane turned around, and it just took much longer than it should have. They were trying to coordinate with Caltrans and the City of Santa Monica and Los Angeles Police Department to shut down the 10 freeway, and that just took a considerable amount of time. So I guess the positive thing that we can focus on is that once people were in that traffic jam, as annoying as it was, they were out of the path of the immediate path of the fire.